follow me when the sky starts to change. Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
To talk about SmackDown. I was about to call it Friday Night SmackDown, but that's what it was when Sheamus was here, when he would call it his Fight Night, banger after banger. But we're a week away from SmackDown. I mean, not SmackDown. We're a week away from SummerSlam, and we getting the promotions, we getting the push of story like we got for Jelly Roll. We have the story getting pushed from Cody Rhodes without John Cena because he doesn't want to make an appearance, because he already told us in the beginning of the year he only has 36 dates. We already have 17 on the countdown, I believe, or probably it's at 15 by now. But I'm glad to be here. I'm glad here for the discussion. And I wasn't here on Thursday for grappling. The guys had a great show talking about the remembrance and the career highlights of Hulk Hogan. If you guys are living under the rock, he passed away this past week here, and this past Monday I wasn't here, but we know we had a good Monday show of Monday Night Raw. We will be back for this Monday, the whole team, the trio of us. But this SmackDown started very well, and an honorary tribute of Hulk Hogan. And it's something that was very beautiful. A big shout out to another content creator like us in the pro wrestling community, JD. He got very emotional of a 5-minute tribute talking about the history of Hulk Hogan and what he has done for us in this era and what we could see of the career, the highlights, and what's done. And plus, Triple H did a good type of narration of Terry as Hulk Hogan and what he has done for the industry. How did that hit for you? Because I know that you guys spoke about it. I haven't had the chance, but seeing a tribute from themselves, from the company, having one ready.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this itself because I expected as soon as we headed into tonight's show, we were going to dive into this and just talk about, what happened on Thursday. Because, that's a pretty big loss within the wrestling space. Regardless how you feel about him, you got to put that aside when you talk about the impact that he had on the wrestling industry. Because a lot of people say this, and I do agree with them. When it comes to Hulk Hogan as a figure in professional wrestling, he was the one that really pushed the needle to, pretty much bring everything to where it is now. You have other people within the space, just like me and Vash, talking about professional wrestling, coming on a Monday, a Wednesday if it's AEW, a Friday if it's SmackDown, over the weekend if it's like a PLE or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, talking about pro wrestling. And you got to thank Hulk Hogan for really leading us down that direction, because if he didn't put his foot down and really started doing his thing back in the 80s, or I should say late 70s and 80s, and all the way through and all the different kinds of things that he did over the years, I mean, me and Vash probably would not be here right now. Wrestling probably wouldn't be mainstream, and it really wouldn't be pushed into the stratosphere that we see it as it is today. And that's something that I am very thankful for. And it was a very emotional tribute. I liked how they went back in time. They talked about, you know, his story, how everything started, talking about, you know, all the big moments that we know when it comes to him and Andre the Giant at WrestleMania, when it comes to that famous moment where he body slammed Andre the Giant, which was a pretty big thing back then because, I mean, you look at the size of the guy, a lot of people didn't really expect somebody like that to really get body slammed. But he just did a lot of things over the years, and it's just nice to see a little celebration in the beginning, having the 10 bells ring to hear, you know, exactly everything that was going on.
It was a beautiful tribute as somebody that didn't really grow up with Hulk Hogan, but was aware of his contribution and what he has done within the industry. No matter if you don't like the person outside of the character of Hulk Hogan, what he has done in the industry, that's a whole different conversation. But when it comes to the era that Hulk Hogan literally has the name of Hulkamania, he's been in the industry, public eye. There's been, I believe, an animated TV show. He has done so much that is showing these clips, and the people going wild at Madison Square Garden, where that's literally in my front yard or backyard here where I live. So just to have those things close to you and knowing the history. So to me, that was a beautiful tribute from WWE Friday Night SmackDown. It was obvious that they was gonna do that. It was beautiful to see a few of the superstars, a few legends also being part of that lineup, you know, just they're getting emotional, the cameras on them. And it's a hard moment, but it was a beautiful appreciation of the superstar that has paved the way where they are now.
Exactly. And I just love hearing, you know, all the stories when it comes to people's personal relationships with him. When it comes to people that actually grew up with him, because I'm another person like you that didn't really have the chance to grow up with him because I was born in like the late 90s and he came out like late 70s, early 1980s when my parents were born. So they had the chance to really ride with like Hulk Hogan when it came to all those
Yeah.
things that happened back then. The only access I really had to Hulk Hogan was like YouTube, Instagram Reels, whatever the case may be when I was growing up as a kid to really see everything that happened. And it's like I spoke about with Watkins when we did Grappling with the Week last night. My first contact with him really before I started venturing back to see what he was all about was probably what they showed in that promotional package, which was his interaction with The Rock, because that was a big moment because The Rock was a pretty big deal back then. And you had Hulk Hogan, who was loved by millions of people. So having those two stand across each other in the ring, that was just a moment in itself outside of, you know, what the match was when you hear the audience going back and forth cheering their favorites. So, I mean, it's just crazy to think about this because this is like a pretty big deal when it comes to a figure that they lost in the industry. I mean, it's a big shock, man, because we lost a lot of people this week. I mean, Ozzy Osbourne's another one, but a lot of people between different industries, music industry with Ozzy Osbourne, and then you got Hulk Hogan within the wrestling space. It's just insane.
It's a tough times, and the beautiful thing is that they continue over the night throughout the commentary. They spoke very highly. So, like, for this to be a somber way to start the show of SmackDown, it was so beautiful SmackDown to continue off and continue showing the pathway of this industry. Because, you know, if you guys want to hear more of the Hulk Hogan conversation, go check out yesterday's show where they spoke about it in a longer hour length. So go check that out. Go check the podcast of Grappling of the Week on the YouTube side and the audio feed. So we appreciate everyone checking in and listening in. But I think that's enough of that. I think we were ready for the show.
Definitely, for sure. We're going to be talking about what a lot of people tuned in for SmackDown tonight, including me and probably Vash as well, which is our main event more than likely for night 2 of SummerSlam, which is the street fight between John Cena and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. And this is a match that I'm actually excited for, to be perfectly honest, because at least it's a stipulation. So at least there's a little chaos in there. At least you can get a little bit more like crazy with it, unlike just having a regular one-on-one match. Because if it was like Cody against somebody else, like a one-on-one match, it'd be fine. but this is like John Cena we're talking about, and you kind of had to have shenanigans take place when it comes to a couple of his matches this year to really make them, stand out and worthwhile to talk about on our show. But I mean, a street fight, perfect setting for this. I'm hoping for the best when it comes to SummerSlam, but you pretty much, saw the promo package between Cody and John Cena last week that pretty much sealed the deal for this match. And Cody was basically just talking about in a nutshell that, he wants the John Cena that wore the title the right way. He wants the John Cena that's an actual fighter. The John Cena that me and Vash grew up watching when it comes to who he truly is as a person. Not the person that's like walking away, making a lot of decisions that are very questionable. Like, we want the John Cena that, went to toe-to-toe with a lot of the greats and early in his career when it came to the kind of level he was willing to go to when it came to the people that he was feuding with. And he also just, expressed, a lot of emotion here. And that's something I could really appreciate from Cody. I'm hoping whenever we get that last interaction next week, because I would assume Cena would be on the show. I'm not entirely sure if they ended up saying what was the lineup for last week outside of a couple matches, but I would assume, because
I don't think so. I didn't hear it. And would you want to lose another day from John Cena's schedule just for him to do appearance? Yes, I would, because they need to continue the feud and the conversation that they have for him for, doing a fake signatures. Because I know that's going to bring back they're going to bring that back this coming Friday, because he technically forged a signature and they've been tweeting about it. They even tweeted the actual legal document online, I believe, as well.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. Okay. So, I mean,
I believe the WWE posted, I think, on Wednesday, the actual legal document of Cody Rhodes' signature and then John Cena just being a bit of scribble. So I'm like, okay, interesting tactic. I wonder if that's going to be an interesting tactic to play. So I wonder how's that going to go. And I hope, knowing that this is a stream match, anything goes, chat. The promo was good for Cody, nonetheless. Like, that was perfect. The way he was getting emotional and the way he just cut himself from doing the end of the promo. He's like, you know what? I'm done. And it just ended off. I know Cody's not going to win. If he wins, I'll be pretty shocked. Not in a bad way, chat. It's just that I don't think John's going to lose the title as of yet. But the thing is that if he does lose, what are going to be the shenanigans? I know if you guys want to hear that, stay tuned for this Thursday for our prediction show for SummerSlam, because that'll be an interesting one, since that'll be a full dedicated show for SummerSlam itself. But then when it comes to, do I think any shenanigans will happen? Well, if you have read the reports over this past week, Travis Scott doesn't have a great relationship with WWE right now at the moment. So who knows that if he's ever going to show up again?
Yeah, that's a funny thing to bring up too, considering he was the one that really assisted. This is something we can actually talk about a little bit later that came up actually about Bailey. But that's something we can mention towards the end of the show. I'll put it in our chat for you to look up, actually. Pretty important.
Copy that.
But yeah, like I lost my track because I saw that news. But pretty much like I'm just like hoping the best out of this. Like that's why I said like the stipulation definitely helps the match and everything. I like how Cody's a little bit more aggressive, because that was one of the complaints initially heading into their first match at WrestleMania. So at least he's showing that he's willing to go lengths that he didn't before. Because last week he hit him with the title, so that goes to show that he's willing to go lengths to do this. So I am very interested to see how that turns out. I mean, the whole Travis Scott situation, I mean, that was seen as asset, like I said a little bit ago. Now I remember what I was bubbling back to. So since he's not getting involved, I don't really know on the top of my head that would make legitimate sense, that would really aid him in this, that I can really think of. Like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely very telling. Like, you would assume he has some sort of trick up his sleeve, because I do recall that promo he said on SmackDown that like he's always 10 steps ahead of everything, like the way everything was laid out with like Randy, and he was talking about this with Punk. I would assume he has some sort of plan up his head, but I don't really know, because nobody's really popping up and really like having a little Easter egg on the show that's really giving us like some sort of indication that they're going to take part into anything.
And that's the part that we've been complaining as fans, is that John Cena hasn't even done social media for us to actually be aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
So for him to actually not even use social media to kind of push the story, I mean, like, oh, I heard what you said on this Friday Night SmackDown, Cody. Don't worry, I'll be coming after you this Friday. I will appear there and we could talk to business. Not even some type of promo to get in the hype, to get in the moment, but it just feels very lackluster. So it's hard to tell where
Yeah.
the shenanigans will go for John. And he even has told us that he never sold the soul to Rock, or he doesn't owe him a favor. So who knows where the possibilities could go. You can't really put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let's just hope at the very least when it comes to the last message that they're going to send us to help really build this match, hopefully everything is in order to see if everything is right before that Sunday night. You can only hope for that. So now let's talk about our main event of SmackDown that I'm actually really hyped for, especially with what me and Vash are going to talk about like towards our end of the discussion when it comes to what's taking place at SummerSlam, because I can't even recall the last time we saw that stipulation match. So, I mean, that gets me like super excited because I mean, that's a lot of chaos within one match itself. So that gets me super pumped. But we had our tag team title match. The Wyatt Sicks were having their titles in line for the very first time, and it was going up against Andrade and Rey Fenix. And I do like the pairing of Andrade and Rey Fenix. They work very well with each other. And I also really like that it's giving something to Andrade to do, because I really wasn't worried about Rey Fenix as much before, because I mean, Penta's doing fine on Raw. He's getting involved with a lot of main eventers on there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still involved with whatever's going on with the two Bronze and Paul Heyman with whatever they have on Monday Night Raw. But with like Andrade, I mean, involving him with like Rey Fenix, somebody that, you know, people care about and everything. And Andrade, I would say, is very underrated as a talent. So just seeing him involved here for the tag titles gets me super happy about this. Like, what was your like initial thoughts, like seeing this match itself when it came to like Andrade and Rey Fenix, you know, just getting a pretty big match together, because they haven't really had a moment like this before, and especially as like a main event.
Thank you. You said it perfectly. They main evented. I thought the match was gonna be like at 9 o'clock or 8:50 something to start, and then
Yeah,
you know
same.
probably Cody to end up the show. But then for them to main event, congrats on the Wyatt Sicks. We have I forgot the two guys from the Wyatts. Not Bo Dallas, on the other two guys. At the
Are you
end.
talking about his
The current
lackeys?
yes, the current people that are champions.
Um, Joe Gacy and it was it Joe Gacy? Oh, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis.
Yes, thank you. I forgot the names.
Yeah.
Appreciate the reminder for Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy. This is a great opportunity for them. So congrats for them to be level up with the White Six. Also, plus the pop they're still getting. We have spoken about that. We were worried that if they wouldn't get a pop for not being used correctly, or the booking, or sometimes they've been cold for almost 3 or 6 months. So to hear them being champions, is it nostalgic because of Bray Wyatt? Yes, but also is that they're being committed. They're using good moves. They're being committed to the craft, and having them be that chaotic is fucking phenomenal. Like um what was mentioned, that this was a first title defense, because I didn't see their win from 2 weeks ago. I just never got around to it. I just saw the highlights. So it was cool match over all the Street Profits lost. I love how the Street Profits is being used like, we're not getting a match. I love how every tag team is coming at each other. Like, why you not, like, you guys lost your match. Now stay in your corner. We're going to do what we got to do to protect our belts, aka the DIY, is what they're talking about, because DIY spoke to Street Profits behind the scenes in backstage talking about it. And Candace is also talking to BFAB, which I'm shocked they haven't had a match yet, which each time, like, I expect or assume that a
Yeah.
triple threat or a three-way mixed tag team match should be happening soon from them, with how they keep interacting with each other. I feel like that's happening eventually with the setup. But on top to add the match itself with Andrade and Rey Fenix, like you mentioned, congrats on them as well for being main eventing. Rey Fenix with Andrade actually works fucking amazing.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know about
does.
you, John, but I didn't expect them to actually have such great chemistry. The video package from them also felt fucking good as hell. Like it felt, I don't know if you will say this, but it felt like a better version of La Fantasma. It felt like a better version of them taking them serious.
Yeah, they definitely do have like a better reception. Like people actually care about them. They are very well known luchadors, so just seeing them throwing it around in the ring is like very nice. So I'm just happy at the very least that people are keeping eyes on them when they're in the ring. So I would have to agree with that statement for sure when it comes to them like being a more uh a better version of Legado Val Fantasma for 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a better version of them and everything, but the match itself was phenomenal, even though it was only like 8 minutes. But once the match started at 9:50, because the match could have started at like at 9:32. Chat, by the way, the
Yeah.
match could have started at 9:32. They were done with their segment and everything else. They just doing video package, entrance, and other stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. Anytime now, guys, 9:52. The match, like the ring, and then the match ended like at 9:50. I'm like, okay, the match was short as hell, but it was to set up something. And we said this last week on SmackDown. We said this like, yo, they're gonna have to do something for SummerSlam. There's no way they shouldn't. The tag team belts should be defended. And guess what? The correct tag team belts are defended on the huge PoE like SummerSlam, because
Yep.
WrestleMania was the Monday night titles of tag team where they are barely being used or barely being showcased, but we got the good ones being showcased in this one. And this one set up the beautiful, I believe, a 6-man. It's Street Profits, Motor City Machine Gun, DIY, Wyatt Sicks, and Andrade and Rey Fenix. Sorry, it's a 5-way, a 5 fatal way TLC tag titles match at SummerSlam. And this is fucking amazing.
It
And
definitely.
from what I saw, Watkins posted the lineup, and I believe it's gonna be on Sunday.
Yeah, I did see that because I think they had something online or somewhere I did see where they were like announcing what the lineup was going to be for both days, and I do recall that match being there, which makes a lot of sense. So I mean, I'm very excited for that because you got a lot of talent mixed in there. It's almost like you're trying to make a nice tasty soup. You got a lot of good talent in there to really deliver a really high profile TLC match. And it definitely, I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticing this, but it definitely seems like they're trying to leave a good first impression when it comes to the SummerSlam show, because this is the first year that it's going to be 2 nights, because there's a lot of matches, like I addressed several times before on the show, when it comes to a lot of matches with stipulations and things that make sense when it comes to future storylines with a lot of people. But you don't just throw a match like this on paper for free. I mean, they're throwing a lot of the chaos here, especially with how SmackDown closed, with a lot of those guys just beating each other up. You're just out for blood. They want those tag titles, and a TLC match. It was also cool as well because you had like Nick Aldis there in the middle. He went on like one of the top ropes and he was like announcing the match itself as the chaos was brewing. So that just gets me like super pumped to see how everything is going to come together next week. Like, at least to me, like based on what I've seen so far, I would have to honestly say to you that I've been having a lot of fun with this SummerSlam build more than the WrestleMania build. Definitely something like it's going to be worthwhile more at SummerSlam this year, which is why a lot of people label SummerSlam as WrestleMania in the summer. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I'm excited for SummerSlam, and it's building very well. They have a good 14 match. We predicted as well with SummerSlam being 2 nights. I believe we predicted this on Grappling or last week Friday on the SmackDown. Think that there's going to be a good opportunity from where the content could go ahead for SummerSlam and WrestleMania is now going to be a competition of who could outrank each other when it comes by the end of the year.
Definitely, I agree. But I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised just like thinking about this. We might actually get a lot of match of the year contenders out of that card because it's shaping up to be a pretty crazy card.
I have a question. Do you think we're gonna have like quick bold prediction? You think we're gonna have a title change with this fatal 5-way?
It's definitely possible, and I only say that if they really want to show like why the Wyatt Sicks is like worth where they are right now. Like if you really want to build them up properly, because that has been a common complaint when it comes to their overall presentation on the show. If you really want to make them look like a dominant force, throwing all these teams at them at once and having it be a TLC match would definitely hit the mark if you really want to establish them as what you originally wanted them to be. So I would have to say, if it doesn't go to another person, it would definitely benefit the Wyatts. But if I were had to say like who I'd personally want to see it, I would say Andrade and Rey Fenix. But I'll say my predictions next week for that. But yeah, it should be a really fun match though. So I am definitely looking forward to this. Like I had a feeling as soon as we crossed this match on the show that we were going to get some chaos towards the end. So I definitely had a feeling that was going to be a thing, because that's been a common theme with the tag division on SmackDown for a while. They just butt in middle matches and tear each other apart.
It just depends where we go next with this TLC. I think I'm hoping it's like a good 30 minutes. Just give me a good 30 minutes of chaos. That's what I'm hoping. I would love to go on a 10 SummerSlam and see this match, but I'm going to try my best to do SmackDown. That's my goal.
Definitely. So let's talk about what's going on with the ladies, because I did enjoy like a couple moments that we had with the ladies, not just with this one, but several things that we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. But we had a match between Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. I recall that was actually the very first match that we had on the show when it comes to the ladies. And I really did like that, because I love Alexa Bliss, I love Roxanne Perez, so I like seeing them get their reps on television. And obviously, since, you know, Roxanne and Raquel are the women's tag champions, they're able to cross shows. That's always been the rule of those tag titles. And there was a lot of interaction between Charlotte and Raquel, which makes a lot of sense. They're both, you know, pretty tall ladies. They're you could definitely say they're very vicious towards several people that definitely look at them the wrong way. And you had them, you know, just butting heads within the match itself, which makes sense because the beef is between Alexa Bliss and Roxanne within the match itself. So obviously, if Charlotte doesn't want Raquel butting in, trying to ruin things for her tag partner, obviously she's got to be there to back her up to make sure everything is there. Because essentially what this match was really, it was kind of like a match where you can get some momentum heading into SummerSlam, which is why you got Alexa Bliss and Roxanne heading towards one another. But you got like a lot of chaos happening when it comes to Raquel and Charlotte outside the ring, when it comes to Charlotte going over the barricade, or just Raquel and Charlotte just beating each other up. And then you just had Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez working well in the ring. They're honestly, I would say, probably around the same size, if I'm not mistaken. They definitely do feel like they're a little bit similar when it comes to that department, but they were able to work out pretty well, because it isn't the first time that we've seen them in the ring, because they did interact with each other at Elimination Chamber before and several other times as well. So it's nice to see those ladies in the ring. One of the moves I definitely love the most that Roxanne does whenever she's inside the ring itself is she does that springboard moonsault. That happens to be like probably one of my favorite moves that she does whenever she like really gets going in the ring. And I also like the spot where Alexa did the Twisted Bliss outside of the ring as well, when she was landing on Raquel and
Yes.
Charlotte when she executed that move. That was very well done, because she doesn't normally do stuff like that. That's usually like a one-off thing in the ring. I don't recall, at least in my memory, of whenever she did that outside of the ring. So that was very well, and I really enjoyed that moment there. And she did get busted open. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if you recall when she got busted open, but I did see her.
It was when she did the Twisted Fate on Raquel.
Oh, okay. So when she went outside the ring,
landed, after she landed, if you look back, after she landed, she touched her nose, because after she landed up, you could tell her nose start to bleed a bit.
okay, so she must have hit herself outside there. Yeah, see that's I didn't initially catch that. I thought it was something in the ring, had to do something with the turnbuckle or something. But I did notice that she was gushing quite a bit. Like even when we saw her and Charlotte backstage a little bit after, when she was trying to like cover up all the blood that she had, you know, she got busted open pretty bad. Hopefully she's okay and everything. But yet Alexa, she ended up getting pinned here, which honestly, I mean, I wouldn't have been mad if Alexa won this match. I'm a really big Alexa fan, but obviously a heel's a heel. They look for those sneaky ways to cheat and win. And you got Roxanne doing a roll up. She grabbed the tights, which is a common heel-tastic to do to get the one up on her. But what is your like initial like thoughts on the match itself when it comes to, you know, what transpired here between Alexa, Roxanne, any of the chaos that brewed, or anything you look forward to seeing when it comes to all those guys, all those ladies?
Look, a big shout out to our team member / friend, to member NK. I watched the show with him. He'd be joining or technically lurking with us by watching the show, and it's pretty interesting how he started to read the story / script of how it's happening, because he said, "Oh, the two girls are gonna go on the side, you know, slowly come at each other," and that's what he did. Shawn and Raquel kept going at each other throughout the match. Raquel was trying to intervene and try to help Roxanne to hurt Alexa, and she did that one smack, and then that's why Charlotte kind of grabbed Raquel, threw her over. Which, by the way, Charlotte, respectfully in that part, and Charlotte got thrown and was about to get a body slam, I believe.
Yeah.
A body slam from Raquel, but I feel like Raquel took too long to kind of fake hold it, because once she threw Charlotte down to the side, Alexa landed on her in the twisted fate, which was a good executed move, but I felt like they were a bit off from each other, where Raquel could have been more to the left.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I did notice that spot in there. It looked a little awkward, which something I have noticed with Raquel from like time to time whenever things happen there. So that is something I definitely picked up on when we were out there.
What I expect for that to be the case when it comes to, I'm sure Alexa was okay.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't seem upset about it. I love how Charlotte was trying to take care of her. I don't know if you noticed a little small thing.
Oh, yeah.
When Alexa was like, you know, grabbing her blood, Charlotte's like, "Are you okay, baby? Are you okay?" And Alexa was like, I'm okay, it's all right. And like, you know, be careful of your own hands and your own blood and everything. So it was just pretty cool to see that when it comes to Charlotte and Alexa relationship. Even after the match, Alexa was in the locker room checking her nose, you know, seeing what she was doing and everything. But then to have Charlotte even coming like, "Hey, I'm hoping this don't happen in SummerSlam. You know, I don't want to see you lose." And that being the case, she also said, "If we win, we'll be friends." I like that she's using that against her, but I'm also questioning how's that gonna go within the relationship, because I'm not sure if Roxanne and Raquel's gonna lose their belts, because to continue the type of relationship that Liv Morgan's not there. So for Raquel and Roxanne to still win, I think that is kind of the predictable answer. But I'm not too shocked, or I won't be too shocked. I will be impressed if Alexa and Charlotte wins, to continue that storyline of friends. What are friends? Are they, Alexa or Charlotte, going to betray each other eventually? Because right now, Charlotte and Alexa are also hanging out publicly outside of just, you know, of being on TV. They're also hanging out real lives. Are they continuing this kayfabe storyline, or are they just actually becoming more friends? Who knows in that stance? Overall, I'm intrigued. Alexa, hopefully you're good. Hopefully your nose is good, because I used to suffer from a lot of nosebleeds because of heat. So hopefully you're good and not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the best when it comes to Alexa. Hopefully she'll be okay the next time we see her. Hopefully everything is in order there. And I mean, I would have to agree with you. I feel like Roxanne and Raquel are gonna have this in the bag next week just to continue that storyline with Liv not there. I feel like if anything, whenever they lose the belt, would more than likely be the time that she gets there. But I wouldn't lie to you if I wanted to say I wouldn't mind Alexa and Charlotte walking away with the titles, because I just really want to see the storyline continue even more with them. But we'll just have to wait and see where that turns out next week when it comes to the next time we see both of those ladies. But next, let's talk about what happened with RKRoll and Logan McIntyre, because after we had the Hulk Hogan tribute early in the show, this was the very first thing that we saw. We had Logan Paul open up the show. He is from Cleveland, Ohio, so it makes a lot of sense that you want to get some involvement with him. You've also seen that with The Miz as well a little bit later in the show, so they want to give their respect to those ladies there. So, I mean, to those ladies, to those guys there. So,
you like, who are you fighting?
Yeah, no, I don't know what slipped me. I think I was still talking about the ladies from the past segment, but obviously Logan Paul starting off the show made a lot of sense and everything, and he was pretty much just working the crowd, saying, "Oh, I thought you guys would cheer me," saying, "Let's go, Logan! Let's go, Logan!" And he was pretty much just calling out Cleveland, Ohio, saying a whole bunch of things. Then he had Jelly Roll calling him an asshole, and pretty much just put Logan Paul on the spot, because obviously nobody really cares about Logan Paul. Logan Paul ends up calling out Jelly Roll, and it was really fun when we were watching it with our friends. Where I remember our friend Nate brought up something within the show itself, where he called him like a donut hole or like something like that, which that was really funny when I heard that get addressed there. So I can't help but laugh at that, because
I didn't expect Logan and Jelly Roll to actually have a segment on pro wrestling, and honestly, it sounded good. Like, segment alone, it was solid. I was entertained, I was humor, I was laughing, and even with a big shout I get to Memory, who was watching it with us, and he was having a good time. He's from Cleveland, and even when Jelly Roll said, "You're not even from Cleveland, you're from Westlake," and I was like, "Oh shit, we put in like real facts out there," and it just shows that shots are being fired, but in reality, outside of kayfabe, Logan and Jelly Roll probably just talking backstage, like, "All right, man, you can say this, you can say this. If you need more information about me, here's this." So it just shows that Westlake was a mention, like all about Cleveland. Even Jelly Roll talking about how he could, about his working, that he's been a WE fan since he was little. He's been doing this. He's gonna do this for the fans and people that got bullied, like Logan Paul, like a jock. So it felt very. I really enjoyed how Logan Paul and Jelly Roll tried to make the feel relatable of the underdog and the bully who's gonna win.
Yep.
And I love how Logan Paul even said, "Yo, I got 300 behemoth to tag team with. You, on the other hand, Randy has to tag a 300 So just to hear this type of reference, this type of one-liners against each other, and even a big shout out to Nate where he said, "Yo, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are looking on top during this. They must be losing next week." I'm like, "Yo, look at him. He's understanding the formula. Having Jelly Roll and Randy looking on top and big over these segments over the past couple of weeks. Logan and Drew McIntyre will be winning. The heels will be winning."
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. Like, I feel like if anything, this is probably just Jelly Roll getting a big moment at SummerSlam, because it's a 2-night show. They want to throw a couple special things in there. So if anything, the only W you could probably really see them having is having Jelly Roll just get a pretty good viral moment there when it comes to whatever big spot that he does within that match itself. But definitely, for sure, I feel like since they've been in charge of the horse the entire time throughout this entire build, more than likely you're gonna have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll lose this match. But this was a very fun segment to open up the show. I really did enjoy seeing Logan and all of them coming out, and all the shenanigans happening when it comes to both all those guys beating up on each other. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen at the match, because that's just one thought that's just going through my head right now. Like, how is this going to turn out? What is Jelly Roll going to do, really? Because we know what Logan, Randy, and Drew do on a normal basis because we've seen them participate in matches. When it comes to Jelly Roll, we really don't know what he can do in the ring outside of a choke slam that he does or that boss man slam that he did on Logan Paul in the ring itself. So I really want to see what Jelly Roll is going to be bringing to the table. Like, I want to see what kind of things him and Randy were doing together, because I would assume he's probably working with Randy like outside of the ring. I know for sure he's probably working alongside a lot of other people within the I would have to say the Performance Center in Orlando. So I'm very curious to see what's going to come out of that. Definitely, for sure. Do you have any other thoughts that you want to say about that too? Because
yeah,
I just don't know what he's going to do.
Exactly. I was going to ask you a question. How do you feel about his shoulder bumps? Because he did them 4 times to Logan. Logan obviously sold well, but I don't feel like Jelly Roll, like his shoulder bumps hit, or like I feel like it's doing something. They're making it presentable and making it sold well, but as a viewer, it just didn't hit for me. Did you find any type of way about it as well as I did, or it didn't really bother or intrigue you in that matter?
I noticed that too when they were involved in the ring with each other. Like when he had Logan backed up against the turnbuckle, I did notice that. Like, Logan was obviously selling it well for the move to look effective. My main issue would probably have to be the delivery of it, because it almost seemed like there wasn't as much effort being put towards it. It's almost like he's trying to do like he was like doing it too slow, so it didn't really look like it was being calculated the correct way. Because when you normally do spots like that, you got to be a little aggressive. Obviously not hitting the person, like trying to injure them or anything. You got to be a little aggressive to really show it there, especially when it comes to his hatred towards Logan Paul, when it comes to the build of this match and how Logan's just been a prick to him the entire time. You got to be like aggressive. You're hitting him like this, or, you know, doing something like that to really show like, oh, holy shit, you know, this dude's pissed off at this guy. It didn't really seem like it was anything. It's almost like light taps. Like, I don't know if he was afraid he was going to legitimately hit him or something along the lines of that. But that was my main issue with that spot itself. He was just like really slow on the delivery. The delivery itself was probably something I had the issue with the most.
I agree. I'm glad that we're on the same page, because I noticed that.
Yeah.
And like I said, throughout the past couple of episodes, in the past couple months, that I'm starting to improve my knowledge in the wrestling tactics aspect. So when I noticed, I'm like, like Logan did a great job selling, but the action part itself, it didn't sold very well. But hopefully by next week he continues putting his next 5 days in, the next 5 sessions, whatever he got to do. So I'm just curious to know, where are we going to go with that?
Yeah, definitely love to see, possibly maybe throughout the YouTube space, we see like a little training video with him, kind of like how they do during these special events, to really see what takes place there. So hopefully there's something like that at the very least. But now let's focus on what's going on.
He's going to wear gear, by the way? I'm sorry about that. Do you think he's going to wear a gear, or just go how he's been dressing?
I would hope he has like something that would help him out in the ring, because I can't really, I at least I wouldn't recommend to just have like, you know, regular clothes on when he's performing and doing what he does. So I'm hoping at the very least he has some sort of fit that benefits him, that he feels comfortable wearing out there and he feels comfortable performing in.
Yeah, because Bad Bunny, I remember he hasn't had really a gear. He's more like dressing with the attire or to match with the type of PLE or event. So I know when he has gone, he don't really wear, like he probably has pads under his pants or the shirts he has worn, but we haven't really seen a gear from him. So that's why I wonder for this type of celebrity, because the thing is, well, Logan, he has his own gear. He's an actually type of full-time wrestler. But when it comes to Jelly Roll, I'm just curious to see what is the results going to be. So that's more on my end.
Definitely, for sure. Like, I want to see exactly what transpires with that next week. That outside of like how he's going to perform in the ring, I'm also curious to see how he's going to look. And another thing that I also had a nitpick with, I'm not sure if you felt the same way, I was not a fan of the song he came out with. It did not feel...
Yeah, me neither. I told Memory, he said yo, whose song is that? Like, it should be Jelly Roll. I think so. And then after that, he said no. I think he says some guy named Terry something, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they at the end like, I can't believe you was shocked that you thought I was Jelly Roll. Like, well, it's because most celebrities that come out here that are rapper or artists, they usually come out from their songs, aka Travis
Yeah.
Scott, Bad Bunny, and a few other celebrities that have come out within their own songs. So for
Yeah.
Jelly Roll to not come out from his own song, it's a big questionable. But hey, maybe the WWE didn't want to pay for his music, or maybe his rights. Who knows?
Yeah, that as well. It just didn't really feel like a wrestling song. Like it just felt really awkward with him coming out there. But something that was a little awkward as well was our adventures with Jacob Fatu when it comes to his journey of achieving the United States title once again, because we actually ended up seeing like this segment beforehand actually, where it was Jade Cargill's segment where she was talking about her match with Tiffany Stratton and everything, and you had Chelsea Green come out, talk her smack, which we'll obviously address a little bit later. But we ended up seeing something with Jacob Fatu out there pretty much trying to sell his match with Solo during SummerSlam when it comes to the steel cage match, which I'm also pretty intrigued to see as well. And it was very interesting to see outside of what Jacob said, because Jacob's always good at delivering what he says. He's pretty much just saying, you know, in a nutshell, just to give you a clear definition, Solo, you're not ready for the amount of mayhem that you're going to be locked in with when it comes to being in the cage with the werewolf. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going to do, Solo. Your buddy's not going to be able to get in the ring, so we'll see how that's going to be turning out. But I was very surprised how The Miz approached this situation here.
It was
obviously
honestly, it was a good promo from
Yeah.
The Miz in that moment. I don't know how you felt drop, but I was impressed. I'm a Miz fan. He's from Cleveland. He's a home base from here. Even Memory was excited, like, oh, you that's a Miz. You can't Cleveland without the Miz. It's great to see that even after 20 years, if you was a Miz fan from even back then, you knew that he was hated. Now to see his love, to see his scream, to even say like, I'm the Miz, and then having the crowd in the back saying, I'm awesome. Like, you just know the fans still love him, the home territory that is. It was amazing. I love the interaction. The Miz, not saying that he didn't look weak, but he didn't back down from Fatu, and that
No.
felt good to see. Where the Miz is a bigger star than Jacob, but Jacob right now is the bigger star momentarily than the Miz. Just because we're the home territory don't mean that the Miz don't have a disadvantage. But Jacob Fatu is a rising star and a diamond in the making. So just to see the Miz working on Jacob, that's good. And I really was excited about you bringing that up, because when Chelsea Green was having our mention, like Drop mentioned, we'll be talking about that momentarily. But for the match itself, for the conversation itself, I was looking, I'm like, wait a minute, the Miz is talking to Solo, but then for the Miz to come up with Jacob during that promo, the first line interests me, Drop. And I want to hear your thoughts. He said that Solo has a master plan and you're not part of the puzzle. What do you think that is? Do you think that we're going back to how the Solo always had a plan but never really reported to somebody? Or do you think we're going to go back to that? Or do you think we're just having a new plan, or just a Miz is just talking bullshit?
Honestly, I don't really know what to say about the Miz really at this point. Like, I feel like, he talks a good game, he talks a good bargain when he's trying to sell his thing, whenever he gets into people's faces and all that. But I don't really know what we could really see from him moving forward, because at least to me, he might feel comfortable in his role as being an enhancement talent, because that's something I have noticed with him. I mean, we don't even see him and Carmelo Hayes really interacting with anymore. We never really got any clear indication if they were still a thing or not, because we didn't really see like them break up or split apart or anything. So, I mean, that's also another question to really throw in there too when it comes to what's currently going on with them. But I will say I do appreciate the fact that he actually stood up to Jacob Fatu, because that takes a lot of balls to do, especially when you know that kind of guy that he truly is. Because when do you ever see somebody outside of like Solo Sikoa really, who really goes up to Jacob
That's what I say.
Fatu and slaps him? Actually, I would say slap him across the face. Really,
That too, yo, that slap. It actually shocked me. It got me off my chair. Where I'm like, oh shit, you actually took the balls to slap Jacob Fatu. Like you dead ass took the cojones way, like right in front of him, and Jacob ate that shit. He's like, okay, and just got ready to just like, yo, I'll see you in the ring. Word. And like he said, I will dog walk your ass. And I love that line.
yeah.
Literally, I love that line. I'm a definitely find the time to put that as a soundboard because literally it's amazing. Like the way he just says it, like, I'm a dog walk your ass. I'm a dog walk your ass. It just feels that aggressionness. Like you feel that angerness when he says that. And you know he means it.
Yeah, and the match actually got a little bit of time too. Like I thought it was gonna be a one and done thing, if I'm being honest, but the match actually had like a little bit of time added onto it when it came to both of those guys in the ring. But obviously, I mean, Jacob Fatu's out there having a match because the Miz decided to get into his face, but you were going to expect sooner or later that Solo Sikoa and the rest of the Timu Bloodline was going to come out and interfere in the match, try to really get involved and rough everything up. Which we did end up seeing, of course, because then they ended up attacking Jacob towards the end of the match, and then Jimmy came out with a steel chair to really intervene into the whole entire thing, which also is another question for me that I'm also a little confused about. Is Jake, if this, because I'm not sure if this is the end all be all at SummerSlam between the both of them, or it's going to continue beyond that. But I'm also wondering, like, is Jacob Fatu just going to stick with Jimmy? Is he going to get any more backup? Because that's something that I've been very confused by, because it's just been Jimmy. You got like 4 other guys that he's going up against, so you would have think very other people involved here. I'm not sure if I'm the only one that felt this way.
Oh no, you're not the only one draw because Chad, I'm sorry, I'm gonna still call him by his name. And Hikuleo, who is literally a 6'7" tall dude, literally just being thrown down by Jacob Fatu. It seems like, yo, he's literally almost having a 4 against 1, which, you know, Jacob is like a powerhouse of his own, right?
Yeah.
But not sure if you saw the rumor report that Jimmy Uso is going to be moved to Raw. I'm not sure if you saw
I
that.
did
'cause
see
I saw
that.
that report. Not sure if that's something that's legit going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But if we are going to move Jimmy, please move Jacob Fatu as well to Raw. Have them two go to Raw. Have that shit cook. Have Jacob Fatu go after the IC title. Yo, that should be amazing. Or go after Gunther. Yo, that should be fire.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I definitely feel like there is some truth to that report too, because his wife is down there now. She's the women's world champion. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before you bring Jimmy there.
Right, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, so I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that happening for sure. That definitely does make a lot of sense. But that steel cage match should be a lot of fun whenever we see it next week, because I mean, it's almost like you're in a cage of a shark, really. So I'm very intrigued to see how that's gonna go, especially since the last match that we did see with Jacob Fatu. I mean, not Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa within the steel cage itself he had with Cody Rhodes. It was actually a pretty good match, if I'm being honest. So
the match of Solo versus Jacob for the U.S. title will be this Sunday. It will be on Sunday, not on Saturday. So it'll be a Sunday match.
Okay. I mean, you gotta have. There we go. We got the TLC match, the tag match, and then we have this match itself with the steel cage. So Sunday, I mean, so far Sunday's looking like it's going to be a pretty crazy show, especially
with Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, Sunday's book is the IC title, the WWE title, the US title, the IC of the women's, and the World Heavyweight title. Those are 5 titles being on for Sunday, and Saturday is going to be the tag title of the women, Gunther versus CM Punk, Randy Orton and Jade and Drew McIntyre Logan, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, and Tiffany Stratton and Jade, and Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross on Saturday.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like it's gonna be the better card for sure. But all in all, I am looking forward to it as well. But we did allude to this earlier when we were touching on this segment, because we actually did see them before we got into them a little bit later in the night. But we saw Jade Cargill and Chelsea Green have a match tonight, because Chelsea Green's thing for whenever she gets involved with a lot of things, she's also taking a break from social media, by the way, that she said, which all in all, I mean, that's a good thing. But we ended up seeing Chelsea Green take part into Jade Cargill's interview, talking about Tiffany Stratton and everything, and that's what led to the match, where she was just saying a whole bunch of shit behind Jade Cargill's back, even though Jade was there. And that led to Jade dragging her to the ring to have that match start. And I mean, it was one and done, really, because Jade, I mean, you look at the size of Jade, you look at the strength of her and everything, you're not going to really expect Chelsea Green to really have like a field advantage against somebody like that, because, you know, that's somebody that's pretty damn strong. So I'm not expecting Jade Cargill to really like have any issues with Chelsea Green in this match itself. But she did her thing. She hit the Jaded. She panned Chelsea Green 1, 2, 3, threw around the ring a couple times. Potatoes really is what happened after the match itself, where it was the Secret Harvest against Jade Cargill at the time, because they came out after the match was done. They attacked Jade, and then you had Tiffany come out for the save, and then Tiffany was working on them for a little bit before they left the ring, and then you had Jade Cargill hold the championship, and then you had them looking at each other, and then they just locked eyes, and then they eventually let the belt go, and then Tiffany just walked away looking at her. And that was essentially like what we got here with Jade and Chelsea Green, and also when it comes to the little build-up that we had with the women's title on SmackDown scene. But what is your like thoughts on what happened here?
All right, because I'm a rapid fire, because chat, I'm not going to give this conversation longer than it should be, because this match was short as hell.
Yeah.
The conversation of Chelsea Green, once she started talking, I'm like, Jade's going to come behind her. They're going to have an impromptu match. And guess what? It happened. The way Jade carried Chelsea Green, I wish she would have carried her all the way from the gorilla position all the way to the ring, instead of dropping her by the not Megatron, I was about to call it Mega, the Titantron.
Yeah.
By the Titantron. And I would have preferred that, because it would have shown her strength, that, hey, I'm able to carry Chelsea Green from gorilla position all the way to the ring. It would have shown her strength and everything. But she dropped her. She kept pushing her down, throwing her down. The match happened. It felt like Chelsea Green was just being like a jobber for the match, to show that Jade Cargill is the queen. She's all that, which I'm not against that. It just felt like, yo, Chelsea Green is way more than she is. I get it. She's just doing her assignment. She's doing her homework. And she's doing what she's being, not saying told, but she's being told by her mission. Hey, make Jade look good. That's what she did. And then Tiffany came out. Looks like they read the same deal memo. Wear bright pink and wear bedazzle on your gear, where you guys almost had the same one. And yes, they did, chat, because I felt like I looked at the same type of almost gear. And it was fire. The match, cool, like I said, but the afterwards, where the her service came and attacked Jade, Tiffany came out, which drop. I have a question. How do you feel when the champion comes out to save her opponent the week before the match?
Yeah, I don't.
To me, it's a big question, but like, do we really need you, Tiffany? Wouldn't you want your opponent to get beat up a bit so she's weakened next week? It's like, I'm sorry, even if I was a babyface, chat, or even if I was a heel, I'm the same. I would want hey, you getting hurt? I would let my music come out and be like, I'm gonna watch you get hurt, and then go back into that gorilla.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know, because they never really established who's the heel and face in this. Is normally whenever you have matches like this, we got a heel, we got a face. They're both still faces right now, so we don't really know what's really going on between the both of them. So I guess this is their way of just having like a nice little friendly, hey, I'll do you a solid because these people came at me. We don't really have any like real beef yet, but yeah, I don't know. It does feel like a little awkward here, because we don't really know like who's the bad guy here. They're just playing it friendly on Fridays, because on Monday, I mean, Naomi screwed both Rhea and Io, so it's kind of easy to determine who's the heel there in that scenario because of the damage they caused to get their title. Because I feel like what we predicted before, if Naomi was involved with this a little bit and there was a little tension there, we could probably get like a little more substance with this. But knowing how she's on Monday doing her things there, maybe things had to get switched up, because I thought they were building to that, but they weren't. But definitely, I agree with Watkins in the chat that Tiffany needs to turn heel, because
turn a heel, because I feel like she's a better heel. Like, girls could still have the same attitude, but have some some zazz. I don't know, like, like this girl Sharpay Evans. The way I see, look, quick reference for the way my mind works, chat. The way I see Tiffany Stratton, she's Sharpay Evans. Sharpay Evans in High School Musical. If anybody is young enough and don't know, that's from High School Musical that came out back in 2010 or something like that. And Sharpay Evans, is she a heel or bad guy in the movie? No, she just wants to be a badass because she's the badass. She's a popular girl and she has the money, and she is the Barbie girl of that school, of that movie, and of that school body. However, she still acts like a sweetheart at times to certain people and a bitch to other people. That's the way I thought Tiffany Stratton will be.
yeah.
But she's not. And that's a bit disappointing because she's too nice. She's too girly. And I don't mind Barbie like that. But I can't have you be helping your champion. I mean, your opponent that you're wrestling next week. Like, be a bit of a bitch. Be a bit of a sass. It's okay. Like, yo, I help you. She literally held your title and literally played tug of war. Why are you being nice? I'm sorry. If somebody's going to hold my title, I'll be like, bitch, get your hands off me. Or I would have drop kicked her. I would be like, word, let go of my title. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because she's shown that sort of side to her before, so I'm not really sure why she's hiding that now. Like, even with Jade, if Jade were to go heel all of a sudden or whatever, like, Jade's not really afraid to show that fierce side of her, so I'm hoping that gets established sooner or later, like in the near future, possibly like after them, whatever happens on Friday, or possibly like moving forward past SummerSlam, because we definitely need to switch things up here. Because sure, it worked during the summer, during the WrestleMania build of her and Tiffany, I mean her and Charlotte, but now I feel like it's run its course and it really needs to put things back together the way it was before, because there's certain people that could work the face, there's certain people that work the heel, and Tiffany for sure is somebody that works better as a heel just because of that bitchy persona that we know she has. Because I remember her in NXT, she was exactly what Vash described her as, like Sharpay from High School Musical. She was very bitchy, she's over the top, she always said things the way she wanted, she didn't hold back. So hopefully sooner or later we can get that side back to her. But
I hope so.
now
I'm here for it.
But now let's head into our quick fire segments, because that was our show when it comes to the main topics that we want to discuss. There was also other thing that took part within this show itself. We had a promo from Aleister Black and Damian Priest, and this was pretty much just building up their match next week, which I was a little surprised about, but at the same time I wasn't, because I thought this match was going to be at SummerSlam, but I guess it's not. I guess this is just going to be the SummerSlam pre-show on Friday, which they're doing with another person that I'll talk about after this. But I thought this would have been perfect for a PLE, but I guess... Yeah, I thought this would have been perfect for a PLE, but I guess not. But pretty much within the promo segment itself, you had Damian and Aleister Black talking. Damian was talking about, how he was trying to help out R-Truth because of the whole connection they had, and he will do it for like anybody else there. And Aleister Black was talking about how he wants Carnage and Pain, obviously because of all the shit that Truth did, and he really wants to get his spot because he just came back and really wants to see things pushed through. And Damian's always getting involved, trying to put an end whenever Aleister's trying to move forward. But I thought this was, pretty good promo to build up their match, to show like, okay, what their fighting words are going to be when they head into the match next week. I am definitely looking forward to this match because this is something, like I said, I thought was going to be on SummerSlam, but it's not. But it still feels like it'd be a really fun match because it's different, something that we haven't seen yet. And I'm very excited to see where it goes because these are two creatures from the shadows going head to head next Friday. But what do you think about this little promo segment we had here?
No. It's like if we were gonna add this match of Aleister Black and Damian Priest, I feel like this would have been perfect on Saturday. Since a lot of these matches on Saturday are not gonna be that long. Like so Sunday seems like it's gonna be the champion night, which is I'm totally fine with. With Saturday being feud matches, this would have been a perfect one. But like you said it perfectly, SmackDown is the pre-show. Like SmackDown the night before PLE has became the pre-show, whereas other matches. And Damian Priest had a good promo. Aleister Black looks fucking amazing when he has his white contacts on. And he gives that persona, and when he talks about his character of what he's missing out. So I really enjoyed that. But I really want to see more of this, and I'm happy for Damian Priest even talking about R-Truth, even saying that he owes him a favor, that like it's calling back to them being part of the Judgment Day together, that like still appreciating that side of him and everything. So that's one thing that's really cool to see. But Aleister Black, great match next week, and I know I will see that.
And the other thing that I was also a little flustered about when it came, well, I would have to say a little. I don't really know what we're going on with this.
I'm about to say, like, don't beat the bush around it. Say it, because I'm gonna say it for you. I'm fucking
no,
pissed.
no. Oh, trust me, that you don't have to say that to me. I don't hold anything back on this show when it comes to how I feel. But I don't really know what's going on with the U.S. title picture when it comes to Julia, because I thought this was going to be the beginning of really putting that title on track, kind of like how they're doing it on Monday Night Raw with the IC title, but they're not. But we had Zelina Vega approach her backstage, and she was with Kiana James, which returned. I would assume she's probably there to help her with like promo work and everything, probably kind of be like a little manager type thing, which could really work out in the end, because I could definitely see this being something that could definitely help her when it comes to whatever matches she's in, if it's serious or whatnot or whatever. So it's very interesting. So if there is one positive out of this, I would have to say I am curious to see what the promo segment's going to be right here. But yeah, same thing. We're getting a match between Julia and Zelina Vega next week. More than likely, Julia is going to retain her title, and we're going to move forward with whatever happens next. But yeah, but my main issue with this is that Julia has just been absent since she's won this title. She hasn't really do anything, so I want to care, but I don't. Because I get tired of seeing the same people involved around this title. Like, sure, you want to have a little match after this, fine, because, technically she never really got her rematch, and the rematch clause is there, but still, like, I don't really care about this at all. I'm sorry, I don't.
Not saying I'm on the same boat, but I'm right behind you. Like, I'm on the boat behind you. I'm right now there, staring with you, but I'm trying to see where it goes, and I'm hoping it goes left, because Zelina Vega had a good promo with Julia. She had the right attitude. She said the gloves are off. She's aggressive. She's wearing dark clothes. She's being more threatening and everything. So that's good to know. Like Walker say, Kiana James is back. We already knew that since last week. I believe there was a picture of her in the wrestling for main event. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Kiana James is back. Congrats to her. She come on screen. Looks nice. I'm glad she's continuing her lawyer side story like she had in NXT. She was a lawyer or the lawyer manager or lawyer firm in that / career / job, other than her being a wrestler. But like I mentioned earlier when Job was talking, that she's like the liaison. She's like the Paul Heyman for Julia right now. She's like speaking for her, telling her things that is being told by from the producer or things already script wise. So in case Julia is not up to speed in the quick rapid fire promo style or in the English side, so just giving her space and due. That's probably why, or just using Kiana James in a smart way that works for both of them. To me, it's a win-win nonetheless. But is it a win for this match? Hell fucking no. Because you know why, Chad? They've been prolonging this too far, where is at the moment, I do not care. Not because I don't want to see the match. They've been holding this match for too long. And if you want to have them on the biggest stage of them all, you should have put this IC title on the fucking SummerSlam. You have the IC title of the women's. You have the IC title of the men's. You have the US title of the men's. So why the hell should you not have the US title of the women's on SummerSlam?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't just be like, oh well, we'll have one on.
And you have a 2-night event.
Yeah, it's like you can't just have one on like one PLE and then have one on like a SmackDown or a Raw or however you want to structure it. Like just put them all on there. Like what's the big deal? I don't understand what the issue is really here. But the last thing I do want to touch on is after SmackDown went off air, and I sent this video to Vash. I will watch it probably after the show because I don't want to do it to disrupt the show. But I did see the caption of what this video was. It said after SmackDown went off air, Bayley expressed unhappiness about not being on the SummerSlam card this year, which is something that we did talk about on Monday, if I recall, when me and Watkins were doing the show. And we were talking about how, you know, it's Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria at SummerSlam, and there's really no clear direction for Bayley. There's not even anything that's really laid out for her outside of a possible interference, because it is a no-holds-barred match, really, where it's like basically you could do whatever there. So that's the only thing I could really think of that she could really fit herself in there. But if she's not going to be part of that, I mean, what are we really doing here? Because I mean, you're putting a lot of your top stars on here. I don't know why she's not here, because she's the top star of the women's division. It just seems very awkward how things are structured. But I mean, I can't really blame her for not being that happy about being on the card, because 2 nights you can't throw a bone for something.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking that she's not doing more. Or look, my guess, to the point, since me and Drop myself haven't watched the clip, so we don't know the full details of what was said, but just assuming by her expressing her opinion, one, I appreciate WE. Thank you for not cutting her from mic. Thank you for at least giving her the chance to speak to the audience and express her emotions, because that's something that sometimes they let them do off air, because they give that little extra 30 minutes or an hour for dark matches and for conversation when it comes to the actual event itself for the people that is there and paying the money for it, because it's expensive. So they give them, like, since the show ends at 10, they give them an extra hour for dark matches or just for the stars to come out. But for Bayley to come and express that, is this a promo work? Is this part of the story? Could be. Is this actually how she expressing it and she feels? Hell yes. Go watch the interview of Chris Van Light, that she undervalues herself. She doesn't see herself as a top star or one of the people from the 4 horsewomen. So to have Bayley say this, I feel like the best way to intervene and have her there is enter the triple threat match with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, because Naomi is Bayley's friend, and what's the best way to level up? Go after Naomi as well. Enter yourself in this match. That's my only scenario if you want to put yourself for the being involved inside SummerSlam.
Yeah, that would honestly be the best bet, especially if you want to put her in a new direction to really push her away, so there's at least something new that's going on for her outside. She's just lost in a vortex, and we're not really sure where she's going to be doing. So, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. You got somebody there that could really help move needles and really do things for the women's division, and you're not really involving her in anything, which I don't understand. It's like, you got stuff going on with Charlotte, you got stuff going on with Becky. Why isn't Bayley getting thrown a bone? I don't understand. Like that's why, like, I kind of wished they waited a little bit longer at this point to do the triple threat match between the both of them, because I feel like right now it would make a lot more sense, especially if you wanted to add any stipulations here so you can get a lot of chaos out of this. I just really wish things were planned out a lot better for Bayley, because I mean, I'll definitely watch the clip, like I said, after the show to get the full context on the situation. But I feel like even without looking at the clip, you can't really say that you're not noticing like how she's being portrayed on television, and not really looking at not really like understanding how she's feeling right now. Because I mean, if I was in her position where I was involved with something and I just get kicked out of it, out of the blue for whatever reason, I would get kind of ticked off too. Because it's like it's a big moment in the company with SummerSlam being 2 nights. I'm pretty sure she would want to be a part of that. So it's like, I mean, what are we doing here, WWE? It's not right, and I really hope you fix that.
Now, right now I'm watching the clip, and right now she's attacking Lyra in the promo, saying that I try to put myself in a tag match with Lyra to get into SummerSlam, and I'm not even there. And I was trying to do this from the goodness kind of my heart, and she's coming at Lyra about this.
Mm-hmm. You think it's story purposes?
I assume so, because right now it's story purposes.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting how this is being showcased when it comes to Lyra having a dark match and with Bayley interrupting this. I wonder if it is story based with her interrupting the match. Everyone agree with her, but the end of the promo, for anybody that's going to be watching, just find that line, is only a good 55-second clip that me and Drop are watching.
Yeah.
So it's short.
Honestly, I feel like just looking at how she is right now, we might just end up leading into a Bayley heel turn eventually. That's how I feel like, because it just seems like she's could play into that whole being undervalued thing, kind of like put it at that level on television and really play out that whole character if she really wanted to. That's my personal thing with it. If you want to start fresh or something, turn her heel, let her go off of what she said on Chris Van Vliet about being undervalued and try to build a character around that. Maybe that'll work out better for her, honestly.
Yeah,
because I hate to
I'm
see
here
her.
for that.
Yeah,
I would love to see a different side of her and see where would that go for her. I'm okay. See the heel attack, like you said. Don't be the hugger, Bayley. Be the aggressive one now. Take them down. Show us the Naomi side. Show us how Naomi went from glow into having her dark side. Show us a side like that, Bayley. Show us what you can do, because I would love to support you. You're amazing. Watkins, if he wasn't here, he would be also like a word like Crash would say, gooning and supporting you, and like we want to see you be the wrestler that you are.
Exactly, and she has all the ammunition to really fire back and become that character now too. But with that being said, guys, that is our show. We are reaching our final thoughts here. So I'm just going to say, when it comes to my overall thoughts before I pass it on to Vash, I thought tonight was a solid show. I did really love the tribute that we got with Hulk Hogan. That would probably have to be one of my favorite parts of the show. I like seeing everybody out there. I like seeing the whole video package for Hulk Hogan. I thought that was very well done. So that was a plus in my book. I like seeing Cody come out, play into that character that he is now, and hopefully we get something between him and John Cena to really seal the deal heading into their SummerSlam match on that Sunday night. And the tag team match, getting that set up for SummerSlam with the TLC, that definitely has me interested. I'm really looking forward to that. The interactions with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte has been probably my personal favorite moment on SmackDown, so I would love to see more of that. And other than that though, that's basically all I have to really say. Solid show, and yeah, let's hope they really seal the deal for the go home show. How about you, Vash? How do you feel?
This was a good tribute of Hulk Hogan as something that's going on with his recent event of passing in a pro wrestling industry that is this part of the game. Beautiful tribute. Even Memory in chat said it, that he's known about Hulk Hogan myself. Drop even like another content creator, JD, a big shout out that he felt the emotion. So this was a beautiful thing to do. No matter what you feel about the guy, you gotta appreciate the career and you gotta separate the artist from the person itself. There are a bit different. So for those that choose, understandable, but be respectful at the end of the day. Don't speak ill of the dead at the end of the day. But the last thing I would like to speak of is that this Cody match with John Cena. I'm curious to see what it actually go, and I'm fucking excited for this 5 fatal way for fucking TLC match.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be fucking bonkers bananas. Like truly, is I just like it could go any way. It could go where the Wyatt Sicks stays champion. It could go back to DIY. It could go back to Street Profits, or it could be the first time Andrade and Rey Fenix. We have literally options to go, and that's the exciting part. Hopefully, this is a confirmed match for SummerSlam. If it's for SmackDown, this shit should go to fucking hell, because do not give me a fatal 5-way with commercials, and I will hate you, SmackDown, aka USA.
Yeah, this is perfect having a match like this on a PLE with no interruptions. So that's very good.
If it is, I'll be so pissed. Like, man, do not change this. The WWE, do not take anything to replace it. Is one thing I'm looking forward for. Other than that, this was a good SmackDown. Nothing crazy, nothing bad. It was a 2-hour SmackDown, straight to the point. If you do watch through the VPN, I enjoy my elevator music. Wink, wink, because I don't.
And also another plus really to add what Watkins said in the chat before I close us out for the show tonight. The roast after SummerSlam got canceled. I did see that on the timeline. I am very happy about that. I'm not sure why they wanted to bring that back, but I'm happy it's no longer a thing, because it sucks and it should have never become a thing to begin with, because this kind of environment that we're experiencing right now with WWE does not need that bullshit. So I am very happy that all that shit's gone. So that's a plus in my book.
Here. When it came to the thing being announced and the thing being canceled, he's happy.
Yeah,
this man's been watching it happen, and it's like, thank you. We did not need that.
Yeah.
Don't make mistakes of what got leaked last
exactly.
Last comedy show, like a whole hour of it got leaked, the audio and everything, and it was embarrassing. So we do not need that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just pointless. It just doesn't need to be. You want to do stuff like that? Involve it in a space where it matters. Do some shit like that on Comedy Central or whatever. Don't try to throw that in with my professional wrestling that I watch on a weekly basis and on the weekends whenever they have special events. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to listening to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. And if you enjoyed what you had to say, why not do this? Be sure to check us out on our social media platforms when it comes to the Weebs of the Ring Twitter, Instagram accounts, when it comes to the Anime Studio Twitter account as well, where you get all of our updates on the Anime Lately podcast. You get stuff on Off the Binge with the rest of the guys that are part of the team. And also, if you want to check out our personal things, you can see what our boy Watkins is doing. Maybe he's going to spice some things up on the timeline when it comes to his adventures over the weekend at Watkins MW. At Legend T Vash, see what Vash is up to, see what I'm up to with at Drop This Box, and also be sure to use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring to interact with us during, before, or after our shows. Feedback is always appreciated, as we are nothing without you guys tuning in. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime Studio. Thanks to our production team for all of their hard work. Thank you guys once again for joining us, and remember, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you guys for Monday Night Raw.
Go visit Hershey Park.
Yeah, see you guys. Hershey Park shenanigans. Get a whole bunch of your bananas there.
Banana.
If they are there.
Banana.
Just dig in the ground like DK did. I'm pretty sure they're down there somewhere.
Banana.